Hi, lovely people, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure to be with you once more. Another Friday evening with you, great and wonderful and lovely people. It's nice to be with the shadows as the shadows welcome you into another episode, the third one, that will be looking at different emotional challenges that we have to deal with at every instant as long as we do this journey through the planet Earth. My name is Emmanuel CHIANGONG. I'm a clinical counselor and a beauty consultant. It's with great joy that we will share another special topic this evening. And first of all, let the shadows welcome you. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Where are you? Here I am. I am shadow, I am shadow. I am in you, I am with you, I am visible, I am invisible. Everyone, everything has a shadow. It grows and matures with us as the day moves on, changing in lengths and angles. From birth to death, my shadow stays with me, appearing and disappearing. When I'm invisible, I'm under you, and we call this midday. And when I am longest, I am impressive, and we call this dawn or twilight. The shadow is that part of us, that part of our story and memory we are not proud of. That part of our experience we are not very comfortable with. It can as well be that element of pride, contempt, and arrogance we ignore or are not aware of. It can as well be the talent, the hidden gift, the special abilities that you have, which you may not be aware of, but which may be impacting the world around you. That which haunts us sometimes, scares us, makes us shiver, revealing our doubts, fears, and uncertainty. Shadow, you make us question our outcomes. You are really hard to bear at times, but sometimes you make us proud and feel confident. We resign and surrender to you as we realize shadows will always be there with us. Whenever you have the shadow, know the light is close by. We only have the dark because there is the light. The shadow is the product of the light. Shadows will humble you sometimes. When you have the shadow, look to the opposite and you will see the light. Don't look to the shadow, don't look to your pain. Look to the wisdom, the grace that comes on the other side of your pain. As your pain, ask your pain to lead you to the light that changes your life. Bring us your shadow. In shadows, finally let them come to rest. Finally let them build a purpose in our lives. Let your shadow be, let your shadow be. Let your shadow be light. Smile. C'est toujours un plaisir d'être sur cette plateforme dans laquelle on va parler de l'ombre. L'ombre, c'est cette partie de notre existence qui nous accompagne à tout moment, dans les moments de la joie, dans les moments de la tristesse. Notre ombre, des fois, on ne le voit pas, on pense qu'il est invisible. Non, c'est midi. Lorsqu'il est midi, il est en bas de nous. Et des fois, il est tellement long. C'est tôt le matin et le soir. L'ombre est aussi cette partie de nous qu'on n'est pas fier de deux fois, ou une partie qui est notre talent, qui sont des dons que nous avons, des fois qu'on ignore, il faut que les gens nous aident à le découvrir. L'ombre, des fois, est cette partie de nous qui est peut-être arrogant, qui est méprisant, qui rend tout le monde petit autour de nous, qui fait croire qu'on est la seule qui compte ou le seul qui compte. On va parler, causer, réfléchir autour de l'ombre. Et aujourd'hui, nous avons un thème qui nous concerne à nous tous. Il n'y a même personne qui est épargné de ce thème. Il s'agit du pardon. Forgiveness is our theme. And when we celebrated the word forgiveness, we said forgiveness is possible. We didn't ask if it is possible. We said it is possible. Have you something that is hurting you deeply? Did somebody let you down? Look at some of the things for which we think we should not forgive, some of the things for which we are not forgiving right now. And as you listen and feel the pain, the anguish, the torture, the depression, the disappointment because of that betrayal, that feeling that completely destabilize you. That action that you did not expect from that person, you counted so much on. That most unexpected thing, from that one you could count and depend, you could turn your back and handle over to. The depth of forgiveness is challenged by the level of confidence that we gave to the one that disappointed us. Here are some of the things for which we may not want to pardon. He took my wife. He sold the family land and took the money for himself. I introduced her to my boyfriend, and she later married him. He ran to Europe with the money I loaned and gave him. Now I'm paying the debt. She told my husband my former life secrets and spoiled our marriage. He reported me to the authorities. He was a close friend and abused my child. That one. He took away a company we created together and threw me out of it. She plotted and poisoned my brother, my sister, my mother, etc. They took over our family land when we lost our dad and our mother. That one. She treated her children better than us. Segregation. He made me to be sacked from work. They came in the night and stole from our house. He raped me. She cheated on me. He went out with my close friend. He killed my wife or my husband. She lied about me to tarnish my image. We were segregated by our brother's wife or our sister's husband. He, she, whatever the case, these are some of the troubles and many more that are lying deep within us. Voilà quelques raisons pour lesquelles on pense qu'on ne doit pas pardonner. Il a vendu le terrain familial et il est parti en Europe avec l'argent. C'était la femme de notre frère, il nous traitait différemment de ses propres enfants. Il m'a trahi, ou elle nous a trahis, et on était emprisonnés. C'était mon ami proche, je l'ai présenté à mon fiancé, après c'est elle qui s'est mariée avec mon fiancé. Lorsqu'on a perdu nos parents, ils ont pris le terrain familial et on n'a même pas là où habiter. Voilà, et vous pouvez imaginer de plus en plus de choses, de trahisons. Elle m'a trompé, il m'a trompé. Ces choses bouillent au fond de nous. Et lorsqu'on est en train de partager ces expressions, je sais que vous êtes en train de penser à ce qui vous est arrivé et je sais que la colère est en train de monter. La tristesse est en train de venir. Ce n'est pas l'objectif de cette conversation qu'on est en train de voir. I know as we are revealing these facts, you are getting connected to your past pains and trauma, and the pain, the anguish, the anxiety is coming up again, and you are feeling bad. It's not the objective. Remember, wherever you see the shadow, the light is on the other side. Always remember. Can we forgive? Yes, we can. We can actually forgive because I will tell you a little story. If you don't forgive, it is the same thing as you are cooking your best meal in a plastic pot. So you take a plastic pot, you put it on fire, and you are cooking your best soup. What happened? As the soup is boiling, what is happening to your plastic pot? It is melting and going away. The trauma, the pain, the anguish, the bitterness of not forgiving is killing the vessel that is your body, that pot that is containing it, which is the vessel that is your body. Will you continue to do it? Great men have been in this world, and they have preached great gospels and shared great experiences about pain. I want us to listen to one gentleman, a great pastor, born on the 5th of March in 1963 in Houston, Texas, an American evangelist, theologian, and a speaker, and a writer. He is called Joel Austin. He is the head of the non-denominational Lakewood Church, a church that has 16,000 seats and hosts 50,000 Christians every week and 10 million TV viewers. Joel Austin preaches in a very simple language. We'll listen to him and we are going to have a little discussion. But remember, we have a guest. And with our guest, we are going to discuss about challenges in life, her experience, and the trauma she went through. And we are going to discuss her journey through forgiveness, above forgiveness, on the way to forgiveness, we'll discover. Alors, donc, le pardon est possible, chers amis. Le pardon est possible. Vous savez, si vous ne pardonnez pas, c'est comme si vous préparez un repas agréable dans une marmite en plastique. La chaleur va détruire la marmite avant la cuisson de votre repas. Et cette mépris, cette douleur, cet chagrin qui vous ronge parce que vous ne voulez pas pardonner est comme une chaleur qui brûle le contenu qui est votre corps, votre vie. Et donc, si on sait ce que le non-pardon fait à notre vie, je sais qu'on va commencer à réfléchir sur la nécessité et le travail de pardonner. Dans ces conversations, on va forcément trouver comment pardonner, comment sortir de cette prison que nous nous sommes fermés, peu importe la façon dont ça s'est passé. Alors, on va écouter un grand pasteur américain qui s'appelle Joel Austin. Il est né en 1963, il est à Houston. C'est un théologien, un écrivain et un évangéliste qui donne des grands discours partout dans le monde. Il est le chef de l'église qui a 16 000 places et reçoit 50 000 chrétiens chaque semaine et 10 millions de vues par télévision chaque semaine. Écoutons notre premier élément, partagé sur le pardon par le pasteur Joel Austin.
Very negative feelings, they never die. Like toxic waste, they're going to resurface through your attitude, through your relationships. The good news is, it's not too late to do something about it. You don't have to live with that contamination on the inside. Let it go. Forgive the person that hurt you. Forgive the parent for what they didn't give you. Let go of the disappointment, the dream that didn't work out. Let go of the guilt, the shame, the regret, the remorse. You can't keep that bottled up and reach your potential. David went to the palace to work as one of King Saul's armor bearers. Saul was proud of David, loved him like a son, but over time, Saul became jealous of David. He could see the anointing and favor on David's life. Instead of being happy for him, he wanted to get rid of him. While David was playing the harp for Saul, trying to make Saul feel better, Saul threw a spear at David and barely missed him. David had to flee for his life. He had done nothing but good for Saul, honored him, served him, but in return, Saul tried to kill him. David spent months living on the run, hiding in caves with Saul and his men chasing after him. At one point, David could have killed Saul. He snuck up on Saul and his men while they were sleeping, but he wouldn't harm him. And despite David being good to Saul, Saul never changed his mind. He wouldn't have him back in the palace. Several years later, Saul was killed in a battle. David was made the king. When David heard that Saul was gone, you would think he would be so happy, so relieved. Finally, this man that made his life miserable, caused him heartache, where he couldn't pursue his dreams, was no longer there. Surely David would call his men together, have a big party. But the scripture says David wept when he learned Saul was killed. He wrote a song honoring him, saying how beloved and how gracious was Saul. No wonder David rose so high. He learned to let things go. Can you imagine writing a song about your biggest enemy? The one that tried to keep you down, about how beloved they are? A key to David's success is he didn't let the toxins get on the inside. He didn't bury the things that weren't fair. The anger, the hurt, the injustice, he turned it over to God. Even years later, he was sitting in the palace, the greatest leader of that day, maybe of any day, having conquered all kinds of territory, seen God's favor in great ways. He said to his staff, "Is there anyone still alive from the house of Saul that I can bless?" He still had no bitterness toward Saul. He's still being good to a man that wasn't good to him. Who knows where God will take you if you'll just let things go? When you have every right to be angry, bitter, hold on to the hurt. They left you. You lost someone valuable. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's more difficult to deal with the toxins on the inside than it is to let things go. It's not always easy to forgive, but it's harder to deal with the poison of unforgiveness. It's not easy to move forward after a disappointment, but it's harder to stay stuck in defeat and mediocrity. Coach Rudy Tomjanovich was the Hall of Fame coach of the Houston Rockets and also a great professional basketball player himself. When he was 25 years old, in the middle of a game, a fight broke out between two players. Rudy ran over to break them up. One of the players turned and threw a punch without looking as hard as he could. Just so happened, Rudy was running up full speed. The punch hit him square in the face. It became known as the punch heard around the world. Fractured his skull, broke his nose and cheekbones. He had spinal fluid leaking out. Almost took his life. Months later, while he was recovering, he was asked about the man that hit him and what he thought. Everyone was waiting his response. Surely he'd be angry, bitter. This is not right. Rudy didn't miss a beat. He told how he had already forgiven him.
Hello, dear televiewers. That was Joel Austin, and the story of David is so passionate. You know, even after David was running away from Saul, he came to a point where he saw Saul sleeping and he could have killed Saul. He spared his life. But even when David became king, he still looked for members of Saul's family to keep blessing them. And he kept honoring Saul. How many of you have been disappointed by your bosses? How many of you have been betrayed by people whom you worked for? How many of you have been completely exploited in a situation where you gave it all and you expected to grow in that company and you were dumped and somebody else was placed in your place? Are you cursing that company? Are you asking all havoc to come to them? Let the story of David inspire you. L'histoire de David et Saul est toute impressionnante. Le pasteur Austin vient de le dire. David pouvait éliminer Saul quand Saul le cherchait à l'éliminer. Il les a trouvés en sommeil et il les a pardonnés. Quand il est devenu roi, il cherchait à bénir les membres de la famille de Saul. Quand il a entendu que Saul était tué dans la guerre, il avait beaucoup attristé pour Saul. Combien de vous ont été exploités par les entreprises? Vous avez donné votre tout. Le chef disait que non, quand l'argent va venir, on va te donner. Tu vas être directeur, tu seras ceci. Et quand l'argent est venu, on t'a renvoyé. Est-ce que vous êtes en train de maudire cette entreprise et le promoteur? Est-ce que vous êtes en train de laisser que toute votre peine se vexe? Est-ce que vous êtes en train de célébrer quand le malheur arrive à ces gens? L'histoire de David doit vous inspirer. David a toujours béni, malgré que cette personne a cherché à l'éliminer. Aujourd'hui, je suis avec une grande dame. Elle est formidable. Quelqu'un de très grande valeur et qui a un voyage intéressant dans l'histoire de subir des peines traumatisantes et d'être appelée à pardonner. Elle s'appelle Dr. Glory Ngwana. Elle est un philanthrope et elle travaille dans une entreprise de la place ici à Douala et en même temps elle gère une fondation qui aide les jeunes filles à retrouver le sourire sur leur visage. I want to introduce to you my guest, Dr. Glory Ngwana, who is an author and also a philanthropist, the founder of Anna Nabel Foundation that takes care of young girls who are in challenging situations that rhyme with her story, and she does everything to put a smile on their faces through education. It was nice to have you on the platform, Glory.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, Glory, you know, it's always a pleasure to meet you. We've had to meet on many occasions and to discuss the challenges in life. Today we are talking about forgiveness. Glory, tell me, we both know that you have told a story before of a human being going through situations that most people will think that when you come out of this, all you need is a gun or a cutlass to go after those you classified as your enemies. And so here you are sitting and smiling like someone who cannot kill an ant. Tell me, what was it that happened to you? All of these people are ears listening to hear your story, And let us learn from you why forgiveness is possible, if that's what happened.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for giving me this opportunity. The greatest time in my life where I had to practice forgiveness was during my ex-marriage, where I faced betrayal from my ex-husband, abuse from my ex-sister-in-laws, and cheated by those I trusted them and brought them in my family. You know, I found myself in a marriage where I was happy, thinking that the future is bright, and out of a sudden, things became different. I was first of all beaten by my sister-in-laws before I got into the marriage, and they threatened me that Glory back of my hand, you were going to see. And suddenly in the marriage, things became upside down, and my husband started bringing women, my ex-husband started bringing women in the house and having sexual intercourse with them when in my presence. And the people I trusted my life in them, even pastors and their wife, you know, I called, they cheated on me. They went behind me and they were interacting with my husband behind me. So it was a kind of a difficult period that thank God I had a counselor, and it is you that I had to go through this process of forgiveness to liberate myself.
Glory, we are talking about verbal abuse, physical assault, trauma, and I want to say that you were somehow not strong enough to manage those situations. Mm-hmm. You were jobless. Mm-hmm. You were used to say jobless, manless,
hopeless,
moneyless, hopeless, and there was all the less.
Oh, yeah.
There was all the less. And it made it very fragile. You depended on some friends and they let you down. So what were the emotions that you were feeling? Can you describe them? Because, you know, when we say we want to forgive, something goes on in the body. And I want our listeners to know that it is very serious. The body is the container that carries these emotions. What were the feelings, the emotional manifestations that you felt during this situation?
Before I got to the stage of forgiveness, it was like God should just strike those people dead and their entire family, their generation. You know, I had that bitterness in me, anger in me, that each time I think or see them, if I could have a gun in me, I would shoot them. But I knew I couldn't do that because I also know what was ahead of me if I do that. But the good part about me was that I was following a program, and that was why I got my liberation. But the anger in me, just that I wanted them to die. I just wanted my enemies to die.
Glory, what were the feelings you were having? There was anger?
There was anger, there was bitterness,
there was
resentment.
You had body
sadness,
pain.
Yes, sadness.
Sleepless nights.
Oh, yes, yes.
You were having sleepless nights.
Yes, I remember I used to call you all the time.
Yes, but there was a time, look at what the lacking of forgiveness can do. There was a time you also felt you did not deserve to live.
Yes.
You wanted to take away your own life.
Yes, that was when I had done everything according to me.
Yes.
I had no force again to do it. Okay, that is good. Let me go.
You went through 40 pastors looking for not one, not two,
if it is
not
a journey
4.
to the solution, yes, I went through.
So there
more
were prayers.
than 40 pastors. 40 are the ones I remember their name.
You are remembering.
Yes. More than 40 pastors.
And you ended up being without a home, and you were sleeping in a church on the carpet. How was your feeling about where's my father, where's my mother? Were you just like you belong to nobody? What was going through your mind?
You know, when I describe, I was hopeless.
Okay.
I was hopeless. It was like the world wasn't meant for me. It was like I don't belong here. It was like it is not. This world is not for me, so I should not even be here.
Glory raconte son histoire. J'étais trahi par mon ex-mari. Le mariage était tellement beau au début. Ma belle famille est devenue violente. On m'a tapé dessus. J'étais chassé de la maison. J'étais sans travail. Et en me chassant de la maison, tous mes habits, mon laptop, mes matériels personnels étaient fermés à l'intérieur jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Je n'ai pas pu les récupérer. J'étais comme personne traumatisé avec des douleurs physiques, l'insomnie et tellement de colère en moi que je souhaitais seulement que ces personnes trouvent la mort par n'importe quelle malédiction. J'étais armé et j'étais comme perdu, sans orientation. J'ai trouvé un peu l'abri dans une église où je dormais chaque soir sur les moquettes pendant 2 ans. Et tout cela m'a rendu tellement misérable que je voulais éliminer ma propre vie. Okay, that was the pain side of it. And now you are sitting here, nobody can see you like a mosquito has bitten you, you know. So what happened? What happened? There are many people who are in this situation now. There are some who may be thinking that tomorrow doesn't belong, does not deserve here. We know the case of Job, who, as the day that the mother delivered him to be cursed, that day has to be darkness. Job in the Bible asks, why did my mother not abort? So how did you find yourself in this balance, in this calm, and in this pose?
Okay, as I said, I had a program, my counseling program. So that fateful day when my breakthrough started, I came and I met my counselor, which is you. After lamenting, I remember what you said, Glory, you have to forgive them. Hearing those words from you was like me having a wound and you piercing it. And I remember crying for 30 minutes. And you watched me cry for 30 minutes. I was expecting you to like pat me, tap me and say it is okay, but you watched me crying. And after that, you said, Glory, with all this bitterness in you, how do you think your prayers can even go up to heaven? Okay. This statement that they made me realize that I am even the cause stopping my breakthrough from coming. And I went back home. You gave me an assignment on what to do. I went back home and I started reading on forgiveness. Yes. The first quote that I read was Nelson Mandela's quote, who says, resentment is like drinking poison and thinking that your enemies will die. The truth is, I was angry, but I did not want to be a stupid person to drink a poison and think that it would kill my enemy. That was when I started following the steps that you put me through.
So the most important thing is that we can seek help when we are in a situation of bitterness. One of my instructors, who is Madame Dr. Schwartz, and a somatic psychologist, said, when you are in a burnout and in a physically low psycho capital, you cannot help yourself. You must look for professional assistance. Yeah. It's like not having a leg and refusing to use a stick to support yourself. So there's no pride in it. Thank you for bringing up this point. It's very, very important. Glory révèle qu'elle était obligée de retrouver son thérapeute. Coïncidentalement, c'était avec moi que j'ai travaillé avec Glory sur cette challenge de sa vie. Et le premier travail, c'était Glory, tu dois les pardonner. Et pour elle, c'était méchant pour moi de demander de pardonner les gens aussi méchants. Parce que c'est comme si elle avait une blessure et j'ai mis le couteau dans la blessure. C'était traumatisant, ce voyage, mais une chose est certaine, si vous avez tellement de colère, tellement l'amertume en toi, comment vous pensez que vos prières même vont arriver au ciel? Et cette question, lorsque j'ai posé à Glory, elle a compris que peut-être c'est elle-même le problème dans sa vie. Et la première chose de voir, c'était essayer de vous éduquer sur le mal lorsqu'on ne pardonne pas. La plupart du temps, on ne pardonne pas par ignorance. Le mal nous prend otage et on souffre avec ce mal. Et on calomnie ou bien on raconte à tout le monde comment les autres sont méchants, mais on ne guérit pas. Mais des fois, c'est l'ignorance. Commencez à vous éduquer sur le mal que le non-pardon apporte dans notre vie. And then, of course, there were exercises to do. Il y a des travail à faire. You have to do some exercises when you are caught by the unforgiving spirit, the unforgiving demon. Let me put it this way. When it takes hold of you, it takes away your ability to think straight and even to look for help. It takes control of you and it shrouds your mental focus and clarity of view. And you immediately react in terms of going back to your enemies as you qualify them and doing to them what they did to you. And that pain blinds you, but if you seek knowledge, you will start knowing that forgiving is not a natural process. It is an unusual behavior. So you have to learn how to forgive. On apprend à pardonner. C'est pas le naturel. Le naturel, c'est d'être en colère lorsqu'on est trahi. C'est normal. C'est d'avoir la douleur et c'est de réagir violemment. Mais le surnaturel, c'est de pardonner. Et pour faire le surnaturel, on doit se surmonter. C'est-à-dire commencer à faire l'impossible. Le plus difficile, apprendre à connaître ce que le non-pardon fait, et la connaissance va commencer à vous donner l'orientation où la lumière se trouve, parce que le non-pardon c'est l'ombre. So knowledge help you to heal yourself progressively. And I want us to, there's a time we are going to look at this. There is at least one exercise that you did at home. Let's just share that before we round up this discussion. One exercise that you did to be able to practice, let televiewers know that sometimes you learn like learning to walk, to practice to forgive. What is one of those exercises that you did?
I remember you asked me to write down the names of everybody that has hurt me. My in-laws, my family, my friends, and even the things I had done for myself that are not good. Because forgiveness, you also have to forgive yourself.
Yes.
So I wrote down all their names. Now I came to you and I showed you the list and you said, okay, let's start with those that are dead. And you said, if they were alive, they could have said they were sorry. So now can you think of something nice and what they did to you when they were alive and forgive them?
So, on pardonne. J'ai un exercice que j'ai demandé à Glory de faire, c'était écrire le nom de tous ceux qui vous ont fait mal dans cette vie de mariage, de couple. Écrire tous leurs noms, même dans votre famille. Tous ceux qui vous ont fait du mal. On va aller voir ce qu'il faut faire. Et elle a amené la liste et j'ai dit, maintenant, on commence par ceux qui sont déjà morts. Parce que s'ils étaient vivants, ils devaient te dire, ouais, pardonne-moi, et ça devait finir. Maintenant, comme ils ne sont pas là, commençons par eux. Et what did you do?
So I took the first name. Uncle, yes, you hurt me, but I remember also that you did something good for me. So this compensates this. May you rest in peace. I forgive you.
Okay, so for every wrong that they did, you knew at least there was one good they did.
Yes.
Il n'y a personne qui a toujours été purement méchant. Essayez. La colère nous aveugle de voir même un petit bien que cette personne a fait. Quand on est en colère, on ne voit plus le petit bien que cette personne fait. La dame qui m'a posé la question, est-ce que c'est possible de pardonner un mari qui m'a trahi? Oui, madame. Essayez de penser toute la vie que vous avez passée avec ce monsieur. Pensez calmement, pas vite, calmement, avec un esprit calme. Tu vas trouver quelque chose que cet monsieur avait fait et tu avais dit que c'est Dieu qui t'a donné à moi. Peut-être à partir de cette posture, de cet angle, tu vas commencer à arrondir les bouts. Donc, Glory a commencé à regarder quelques petites choses de bien. C'est une thérapie pratique. Ce n'est pas une imagination, une illusion. And there were many other exercises that were done in this whole process. And why we are having this discussion here is because we need that everybody knows that when you are to pardon, it's not an easy journey. You may need help, but knowing that you have to learn some new process. But the first thing you need to do is educate yourself on forgiveness. How it destroys your body, how it poisons your system, how it destabilizes your relationship with people, how it spoils your career and your beauty because you look ugly and funny with more lines to come on your face, how you move in a wayward manner, you cannot move straight when you are carrying that danger in you, that poison in you. L'important c'est de retenir, lorsqu'on ne pardonne pas, on devient laide, on devient bizarre, on marche bizarrement, on n'est même plus belle, on n'est plus beau. On empoisonne son système et on veut que ce système ça se descende. Sa carrière, nos relations, tout est empoisonné par cela. Donc on perd davantage. Mais je sais que tout seul, ce n'est pas évident. À partir de cet échange, je crois et je souhaite que la grâce va nous permettre de commencer à apprendre à pardonner parce que ce n'est pas facile, je sais. Et si vous avez appris quelque chose, on va dire merci à Dr. Glory. C'est pas évident de venir raconter sa vie à la télé parce que demain vous allez la reconnaître sur la rue, vous allez dire que voilà la dame que son mari avait. Bon, vous savez, tout le monde a l'ombre, rappelez-vous. No, everybody has a shadow. If you are seeing so much of others, know yours is there. Thank you very much, Doctor. It was so nice to have you on this platform,
you.
Shadows. And we look forward maybe to more discussions because your story still continues, not so?
No problem, I'm available anytime.
Thank you so much. We'll go back to our great Desley and have a little transition because there is something that will come and calm us. We are going to the South American mountains of the Incas, where a great team of beautiful people will appease our mind. Let's just have this transition before we go to the sacred sound and sacred music. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at what nature has. Sound, air going through pipes. Beautiful. Formidable, n'est-ce pas? They are called Inca Soul, a musical group made up of South American, Peruvian, Ecuador, Bolivian musicians. And the title of the song is Beyond the Trail of Tears. Beyond the Trail of Tears. And those of you who go research this, in the 1830s to the 1850s, the American president, Andrew Jackson, carried out a very hideous campaign where Native Indians were deported out of their local traditional settings to be relocated in a different area in the Americas to favor white expansion. These hideous crimes that humans do to other humans. And of course, over 6,000 Indians lost their lives in that campaign, and many of them were traumatized, and the anguish of it is still on till this day. And it has been immortalized in this beautiful melody that goes to soothe the souls of those whose memory. Trauma moves down generations, remember that. So sometimes the children of the great-grand Indians today are still feeling this pain. That was beautiful and soothing. Donc ça révèle une histoire. Le titre de cette morceau c'est Beyond the Trail of the Incas. Fais une recherche sur Google pour savoir. Nous sommes sur la page spéciale. Cette page spéciale, comme d'habitude, demande qu'on fasse un peu de lecture. Et pour faire la lecture, il faut la lumière. We have to do some reading. And of course, we cannot read without light. So, I light my lamp. And here you are. And today we're going to discuss a very special book called Till Life Do Us Part. Till Life Do Us Part. I know we are having messages coming already on the numbers on the screen. Send the messages, and if I'm not able to read all of them on set, I will get back to you. I will discuss with you, and I will bring the message up. If you have contributions, suggestions, questions, if you have need about the difficulty to liberate yourself from the poison of unforgivingness or of not forgiving, please don't hesitate. Vous avez le numéro sur l'écran. Envoyez un message sur WhatsApp ou sur SMS. N'appelle pas et nous allons vous répondre. On va partager le message. Vous avez des questions, vous avez des soucis liés à la difficulté de pardonner quelqu'un ou quelque chose, ou de vous pardonner aussi. Even forgiving yourself, let us know and we see how we can get to you. Maintenant, nous sommes sur the review. We are on the review. And this lovely book was written by no other person. Can we have the book on the screen, please? That can we? Yeah, there we have it. Till life do us part. On this one, till death do us part. But this time they say till life do us part. And again, there we have Dr. Glory Ngwana. Her whole story is written in this book. From the age of 3 years till today, that story is here. And I want to share some of the readings in this book because there is beauty in reading. On ne lit plus et ce n'est pas bon pour nos enfants. Au lieu de donner les pads, les multiples téléphones aux enfants, achètent les livres. Menons nos enfants à lire. Ils vont dire qu'ils lisent à l'internet, ils lisent sur l'écran, c'est faux. Il faut les donner les livres. L'histoire de Glory est passionnante. Des hauts et des bas avec trop de passion. Et c'est la lecture qui peut raconter cette histoire. Mais dans certaines des difficultés de Glory, je vais lire certaines parties en anglais. I will read some parts. This section is called Miscarriage of Second Pregnancy. And Glory is in marriage, no child, first pregnancy gone, second one miscarriage again. And she feels like the world has turned against me. My God is not listening to me. When you go through the dialogue of Job, God, Job's wife, Job's wife, Job's friends, and the dialogue with God, you will understand Glory's story. It's another version of it. Let me read this with you. At that point, I started feeling that I was under a curse. I felt it was better to be dead than alive. I told myself that if it was the way life should be lived, then my late mother, who was free from the pains of life, should be happier. There and then I decided to travel home to see my father. I thought my prayers were not being heard by God. So I decided to ask my father, who is a pastor, to pray for me. When I told Mrs. Bila, she refused and said that if I go, I would lose the pregnancy. This didn't make sense to me, and I didn't obey her. I went home, met my father, and burst into tears. I heard myself telling him these words, "Papa, I am tired of life. Please pray for me. And if I have offended you and my mother in any way, please, while praying, forgive me. If I have offended my maternal uncles and aunties who are all now gone to glory, intercede for me." Not only as a father, but as a pastor. Tell your God that I don't know what I have done wrong for the last 31 years of my life to go through such traumas. Wow, I think that this is one of the times I would not like to be a father. And I think someone will say, I would not like to be a pastor. You know, sometimes even with your spiritual elevation, some of the challenges that come to you, you lack the words and you only depend on grace. This part is beautiful because after all of this, I don't want to read the other things. Pa had to speak, and I will read it to you. I was to depart the following day. I knelt in front of him as my normal practice to receive his benediction. He stood up from his chair, held my hands as I knelt, then prayed, "Father, this is the daughter you gave to me. She is in pain. I commit her to you. May your perfect will be done in her life as she walks through the valley of the shadow of death. The man of the world will let her down, but you, Lord, will never fail. I have served you all my life in your vineyard. This comes with blessings. May the blessings be granted to your daughter. Glory that you kept in my care in this wicked world." And I said, "Amen." Then he gave his fatherly blessings. "My daughter, I bless you with all my heart. You shall prosper. I bless you with kids. You shall bring forth twins and triplets, if it pleases the Lord. I know you don't have any sister, as you are a lone daughter of this family, but the angels are your sister. Go in peace, my child, and may the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen." You know, this is one moment that I would love to have a father. Because when you have this pronouncement on you, you are like a hot knife that cuts through butter when you meet obstacles. It's so beautiful to know how raising children can be a commitment. And may the Holy Spirit come down on Reverend Guana where he is now and feel the presence of this joy as we celebrate him, not only for blessing his daughter, but all the many Christians that he championed and took care of throughout his great career as a pastor in the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. You know, the story of Glory has many elements. I will make another small reading, which is just to touch the part of forgiving process, where Glory was involved in the forgiving process. The next list was that of my in-laws and husband, the ones that were currently inflicting me with excessive pain, yet I had to forgive them. It wasn't that simple because I was waiting on God to punish them severely so that I should have peace. I knew that my counselor would reject my view, but I was not ready for any task that he would ask me to do to forgive them. My therapy session always ended with meditation after yoga exercises. On that day, we focused more on yoga poses to let go. He started the meditation, and I thought it was the normal meditation of elevation to the higher self. It was rather a guided meditation for forgiveness. Meditation postures are often seated ones which open up the groin and hip. On that day, I was asked to be in the yoga posture called Savasana, which means the corpse. You lie down prostrate on your back. During this pose, you close your eyes, breathe naturally, and practice eliminating tension from the body. When you go in this practice day after day, it conditions the body to release your stress. In this posture, this message was read out to Glory. Glory, you know there is a day to be born and a day to die. When we die, what is remembered of us is what we did on earth to others. You will never be remembered for your certificates, money, or any property. Take, for example, if I called the name Nelson Mandela, what you will remember is how he worked for the liberation of South Africans and for the peace that came between the blacks and the whites in South Africa. He decided to stick to love, for hate is too great a burden to bear. I know you love Mandela and his ways. What do you think he would have told you at this stage of your life? Remember one of his quotes. As I walked out of the door towards the gate that was led to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I would still be in prison. So my dear Glory, you see, one day you will die and you will be placed in this same position in which you are now. People will be passing around your casket as they look at your remains. What would you want them to remember you for? The Glory who did not forgive her in-laws and her husband? No, my dear, you are above that. You must be remembered as that strong lady who forgave all those who hurt her, to the amazement of the world. We have a great task ahead of us for your legacy to be remembered. Know that this forgiveness will clear the way for your legacy to manifest. Always remember the last day on earth and think of those who hurt you and forgive them. The smile on my face turned to tears as these words can only come from a Christ-like figure. Then he continued, you have enough grace with you, Glory. They could have done worse to you if this grace never existed. Your pastor's family background carries a lot of grace for you. You were sponsored in school with Sunday penny money and offerings that Christians prayed on before offering to the church. That alone has a lot of grace. Jesus was not a fool when he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. This is how we come to the book review. And as I put up this slide, I want to invite all of us to meditate together as we continue to discover how through the shadows we can heal ourselves and heal our loved ones. So, messages that are coming in, let me have the messages. Quickly. Yes, bring the messages. Lovely. That's my agent there. So we have messages. Glory is a dynamic leader. And here, yes, please. Good evening. I'm Wiseman Neyman from the nation's capital. Thank you, all of you who have sent us messages. And what I just want to say is that I will respond to all of these messages after the program. The few minutes we have, we'll do a small meditation together. And so could just sit comfortably wherever you are as we meditate over forgiveness. Where are you feeling pain in your body? Where is your heart heavy? What is your relationship with that experience that was so difficult, that person who let you down? On va méditer ensemble pour compléter cette émission avec cette musique. Et nous allons avoir une posture calme, relaxe, paisible. Et fermez les yeux. Respirez avec le ventre. Lâchez les épaules. Vous écoutez la musique doucement. Et suivez les commentaires qui accompagnent cette méditation. You cover your eyes and gently relax. Listen to the music and feel every sound in every part of your body. Slowly breathe in and slowly breathe out as you listen to the music. Have a smile on your face and be good about yourself. Écoutez cette musique. Si vous avez la possibilité d'écouter, c'est parce que tu es vivant. Souris et laissez chaque son pénétrer au fond de votre âme. Vous avez mal où dans votre corps? Envoyez un sourire dans cette partie en lui disant tout doucement, ça va aller. Are you feeling any pain in your heart? Did somebody wrong you so bitterly? Are you still bitter with your husband who cheated on you? Let this music cool down and soften your heart. Est-ce que vous avez encore cette douleur après cette trahison? Laissez le son calmer votre esprit. Lâchez vos épaules et souriez parce que c'est gratuit. Laissez le sourire s'étendre sur tout le corps. Let your smile spread all over your body from your head to your toes. Respirez profondément et sentir rempli de grâce. Expirez doucement et sentir toutes les douleurs partir. Breathe in fully and be blessed with the good feelings that come from grace. Breathe out slowly and free yourself from all the burdens and pain. Keep smiling, it is free of charge. And continue to smile. And slowly, slowly open your eyes and let the grace of this shadow and the light be with you. And you keep smiling and let this accompany you to your beautiful sleep. Que ce son vous accompagne dans vos sommeils et que vous dormiez avec beaucoup de paix. Keep smiling as the shadow tells us good night.